You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show, the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. We do have new callers, by the way, at least one. I saw it. I noticed. By the way, I explain this all tomorrow. I already recorded tomorrow's podcast, so I got a lot of this crap off my chest already. Apologies for not getting the podcast out. We've been on a little mini vacation, kind of just down the street here, but I tried to make it work. Tried to make it work on a freaking laptop. I gave up. So I will try, if we can, to go back and recover. We won't officially skip a lot of these. At a later date, we'll see if we can go back and recover some of these, but no promises. All right. Where do we get started here? So we got a new caller. I'm seeing Jersey Mike, so I don't know if this is just a different Jersey Mike number, but we'll give it a shot anyways. It's at 5:48 p.m. What time is it? Okay, yeah, we're good. I don't remember. I don't know what time it is. I don't know what day it is. But away we go.
Hey, Ron, it's Jersey Mike. So, you got like 11 minutes left in the fourth here. This game is just awful. You know who I'm going to blame? Jaden frickin' Reed, man. Can't catch a ball. What is this? Damn.
Dude, I really thought you were going to say Matt LaFleur, and I was just going to walk away. I was just going to say, we're done. I'm not doing this frickin' podcast.
You know, what the heck happened to him? He was somebody, and then since then has been incapable of producing a damn thing. What in the world is this? Is it because he's associated with Chicago? Is that what it is? Anything from Chicago's garbage? Like, can we not have that, please? Why is Christian Watson the only reliable receiver on this team? Romeo Doubs apparently is all right, but he stumbles. I don't know what happened to his confidence. It's gone.
Well, he was terrible until the final stretch there, and then all of a sudden he became freaking Megatron.
Tucker Kraft has been unheard of. Luke Musgrave, okay, what? We haven't seen anything. Where is Matt LaFleur?
Musgrave's played about 6 snaps this year.
In his bag of tricks here.
Oh,
Jordan Love is like...
Shut up with your bag of tricks. Are you kidding? You don't need a bag of tricks. Throw an accurate ball and catch the ball. You don't need tricks. Good Lord.
I don't know what he's supposed to do out there. I don't know. But this ain't it.
And don't listen to me. Listen to me. I know that there are about there's a group of people that I'm going to be as insulting as I possibly can here. You guys are like Bears fans. No matter what, the worse the quarterback plays, the quicker you all run here as fast as you possibly can to make sure that everybody knows that everybody else around Jordan Love failed. We got to make sure we establish that everybody else was terrible. Why? To protect Jordan Love. He didn't play well. He didn't throw an accurate ball until halfway through the fourth quarter. Okay, he threw for about 60 yards through 3.5 quarters. So I don't want to do this crap. I don't want to play this game again. All right? I'm not going to pin it all on Jordan Love. Kudos to him for coming through in the end. He had a tough assignment. There were a lot of other mistakes being made, but I'm not going to tolerate this bull crap where we come out here and immediately say, hey, Jordan Love did the best he could. You sound like Bears fans. Well, what's he supposed to do? What can Caleb do? What's Justin Fields supposed to do? Do what you did last week. How about that? Play like you did the last 5 weeks. I'm not doing it today.
This is a Matt LaFleur problem. And Jeff Hafley, why the heck is it that our linebackers give up the entire middle of the field? I don't understand this. What is this kind of defense?
It's called Javon Bullard shouldn't be playing football. That's what it is. I mean, go back and look at every blown coverage. You'll see number 20 roaming in the wrong area, roughly around that area. The final play of the game. Guess who was over to that side and didn't feel like covering the running back? That touchdown, the deep touchdown, guess who was the deep safety that just decided not to go cover the one deep player on the field? Every single time, and this goes back several weeks, every single time that I see a blown coverage, it's Bullard. Guess what? This team, when Bullard was out injured, very, very good. Then we put Bullard on the field and give him a bunch of responsibilities, and then he leaves an area vacant, and go figure, they find the vacant area that Bullard forgot to cover. I know it's not all his fault, but I'm just so, I mean, he's like Quay Walker to me. I feel like every time he's on the field, our team gets worse, and I can't stop noticing him every time something bad happens. I'm sure some of those times were not his fault, but every time a bad thing happened, I see Bullard in the area, and I go, you freaking jack off. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't. He shouldn't be out there. I know we got a lot of injuries. I understand that. Maybe we don't have a lot of choices, especially when Zane Anderson got hurt, but if he didn't get hurt, I would have insisted that Zane Anderson take over for Bullard. Maybe he's going to be a great player one day. It ain't going to be today. It ain't going to be tomorrow. It ain't going to be this year. Bullard should not be playing right now.
Deserve to win this game. But I'm going to end it on this. You know what? For all of that garbage, I'm still sick and tired of seeing all of the penalty flags all over the field. Either somebody's going to explain to me that we're actually committing these penalties, which I don't believe, because I've seen multiple penalties that have been called this game that weren't there. You know, there were some justifiable ones, like Keyshawn Nixon PI on Jefferson or whatever, whoever that was. Like, yeah, that was bad. PI, whatever, call that. But like the Edrin Cooper thing on the missed field goal, you know, a few other things. Like, I feel like I've been watching the Lions offensive line hold all night, and they haven't called it a once. You know, but our offensive line even sniffs wrong, and they call a legal formation or something. It's just whatever.
Well, and it compounds because they were being stupid. We had, I think, 4 don't know how to line up penalties. And then you go back and look at it, and it's like, Cooper didn't even do anything wrong. So on top of the fact that we can't frickin' get our head in this game and make a bunch of mistakes, you're pretending half the time that we're making mistakes that aren't even there. We don't need your help, referees. We got this. We know how to be stupid and make stupid mistakes. Zach Tom knows how to line up wrong. Dontavian Wicks knows how to line up wrong. We had 4 of those on top of a 12-man in the huddle penalty. We don't need your help.
This is bad all the way around. Maybe they can figure something out here with 10 minutes left. Anyway, go Pack, go.
All right, I got you in as Jersey Mike number 2, I think. You know, I tomorrow I'm not even that mad. I'm really not. But then the calls come in and I start getting super ticked off. Let's go back a little ways to this one's at 3:00. AA Ron, 3:00. Let's go through all the optimism, blah, 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 and then we'll get into the negatives.
Ryan, it's Aaron from Eau Claire.
What's up, man?
Hey, I got 2 keys for the game on Sunday against the Vikings.
Oh,
2 keys.
this is Friday. My bad. All right, let's fast forward. Here we go. Here's Sunday at 3:30.
All right, Daddy. JJ putting one on the ground, not ideal. Not ideal at all, but I still trust him with the ball, so I don't want to start everybody freaking out and be like, oh, no, he's got fumble issues. F that, man. That guy's a workhorse. I trust him any day of the week, and I trust him with the ball way more than I did Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones fumbled a decent amount in the playoffs, man. I'm not trying to say Aaron Jones, I don't like him.
Didn't he have like 3 fumbles in a single game that we ended up getting evicted from the playoffs one year? Something to that. I might be exaggerating and misunderstanding or remembering that, but it was something to that effect.
Love him. But defense coming up and doing their job, man. That right there, it's fine, man. It's fine. I like it. Way early. A lot can change, but pretty cool that the D stood up right there, man. Let's build it, baby. Let's build it. Defense
did start off pretty well, but it very quickly unraveled. I think after like the second or third drive, it was just they couldn't do anything. They just could not stop a single thing. And I got to say this, and I know this is going to be largely disregarded by Packers fans and whatnot, but the Vikings played as good a football game as you can play. I mean, how many mistakes did they make? Like 0. You got Sam Darnold. That play at the end of the game when Darnold was out of control good in this game. There were a couple errant passes, but like the one, for example, the guy's getting hit. And as he's being hit, he throws a ball to Justin Jefferson, and Justin Jefferson makes a one-handed grab. So you've got a guy making a play, largely pretty accurate, right? He had to reach out with one hand. I get that. But considering you're being hit, to be able to throw it exactly there in tight coverage, and for the guy to make a one-handed catch, I mean, Darnold is playing like Tom Brady. I mean, he sits in the pocket. He's unbelievably comfortable, slight shifts up, back, forward, whatever, and just throws these freaking strikes, strike after strike after strike after strike. And then the receivers and the running backs, everybody, not a single drop, not a single mistake, just playing perfect. Even if our guys are playing good football, they're playing better football. So it's freaking annoying, man. It's like, where's the pass rush? And then the pass rush gets there, and it doesn't matter because either the ball comes out too quickly or we get there and he just barely evades the pressure and throws across his body for a. It's like it just didn't matter, man. It was a bad combination.
All right, first quarter done. 3-0. I don't mind getting the points. I really don't. On the road, fine with it. I didn't like that series right after Jacobs fumbled where they threw it 3 times in a row. I mean, look, Floor is such a great play caller, and he's done such a great job up here, and I'm not calling and complaining about him at all because I love him. I know a lot of people don't. But anyway, I thought they maybe should have given the ball to Jacobs right off the bat to be like, hey, man, that fumble, we don't care. We trust you. Get back out there and go do it. And then he was a big part of that, the drive where we got the field goal. So the defense is standing up good, man. Nixon's playing well. Sweet baby Nixon broke up that pass from Madison, which was nice. Ran up on Darnold to kind of force him into throwing out of bounds. He got us that 4th down. So, man, we got to grind one out. We got to grit it out. Cool. Let's prove to ourselves that we can do it. We have to win a 10-0 game or a 10-7 game or a whatever. Fine. If it turns into a shootout, that's fine too, but got to win in all ways, man. Let's keep it up.
Yeah, let's do that. What's up, Washington Metro?
Yeah, this is Washington Metro, a.k.a. Gabe from Austin.
What's up, dude?
But real quick, just as we're 2 minutes out from halftime, you know, we're playing not a bad game, but I see 3 clear mistakes that have us down a touchdown right now. I'm hoping we can claw that back before the end of the half here. But obviously you have the fumble at the very beginning of the game. You know, there's a drop from Reed. I mean, off the top of my head, I'll be honest, I can't remember exactly what the third one was when I called. But suffice to say, you know, there's this, as you've mentioned before, is one of these types of things that's like, who can make less mistakes? The Vikings haven't made that many mistakes. The Packers have.
Yeah.
And that's why we're down a touchdown. But I want to see this team rally. We've won a lot of games from ahead. Let's see them come from behind. All right, bye.
Well, that's kind of how I felt the whole game. Like, you're not, at almost no point were they out of it. And it's like, okay, if you can rally right now, okay, now's the time. Now's the time. Now's the time. Even the Valentine pick. We get a pick, we go down, score. I think that made it like, I don't know, 10-20 or something like that. And it was like, okay, like, this is a game, folks. And the Vikings come right out and march down the field and get a touchdown. Like, well, screw it then. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what else to say.
Well, it's halftime. I thought the offense did not play super well. Josh Jacobs had some good plays, but Jordan Love does not look sharp today. Hopefully that changes second half. Defense did a fine job, I thought. A couple of plays that they should have clamped down on a little bit more, especially the busted coverage. But, you know, yeah, they held them to 13 points. That last one was kind of a bogus call on the field goal miss. So, anyways, defense is slowing the Vikings down, thankfully. I just hope it's not too late and that the offense can start to pick it up because, I think they're kind of underperforming today, unfortunately, but we'll hope that changes after the halftime.
Yeah, and again, I mean, they clearly weren't out of it. I mean, the fact that they came back within 2 with almost no time left. I mean, we're halfway through the fourth quarter. The game's over, and they just go boom, 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 and get us close, which is what happened last time we played the Vikings. it just really goes to show how much this game was in our grasp the entire time. The ability to get down the field and score in the NFL, it's not that hard. I mean, how many games have we put up 30 points and people are upset because we, kind of shut down for a quarter? We could still put up 30 points in 3 quarters. The ability to get down and score. I don't want to say it's not hard, but it's just, if at any frickin' point they just could have got it together, if at any point we could have blocked or thrown or caught or tackled or anything, this game was in our grasp. But, again, I don't know, man. I will just say this, and I know some people disagree. I don't care. I'm not concerned about the talent of the team. I know the team has talent. I'm concerned about this bull crap that we've seen for years where they just decide to not show up. They just have a day where they just don't show up. They can't figure it out. They can't get their stuff together. I was hoping this wasn't going to be that year. We've been seeing very consistent play. We've been seeing them do what they need to do and step up and just be the team they need to be. And it's like, who knows, man? Maybe they can do it this year. You got all 3 phases, feeling kind of good. I don't know, man. And then here we are. And it just leaves you with, look, this game doesn't freaking matter. Who gives a crap? The division's gone. Maybe we get up 1 seed. Okay, whatever. It's aside from pride, it didn't really matter. But what matters to me more than the pride is looking at it going, do you think that this team is not going to ever do that again? They're not going to have a single implosion game for the rest of the year, considering they tend to implode against better teams. Like, I don't know if they get scared or intimidated or what the issue is, but that's all there is after the Bears game. Once you get into the playoffs, you're facing playoff team after playoff team after playoff team. I mean, it might be like playing the Rams and then playing the Vikings and then playing the Lions and then, the Chiefs or the Ravens or whatever it is, Bills in the Super Bowl. You're telling me that they're not going to do that ever? Because if you can tell me that, then I think they got a shot. And I understand other teams can have bad days too, but this was appalling. This was, 3.5 quarters of just incompetent football. And we can't have that when it's almost January. We can't have simple mistakes. You can't pick up blitzes anymore. They send one other guy, you don't know what to do. That's pathetic. Why can't you figure this out? Again, Jordan can't find him, can't make the right decision. He's airmailing balls 10 yards past a double-covered guy when we need 5 yards. The hell are you doing? What are you doing? And we got drop after drop, and yes, some of them are hard passes, some of them are not hard. And yes, Jordan has to throw better balls, but at the same time, when this team's good, that's when you got guys plucking balls out of the dirt. Consistently, like, oh man, how did he catch that? We didn't have one, how did he catch that ball today? Everything felt impossible. Everything felt like, it's so freaking hard. Expecting an accurate ball to a guy that's actually going to catch the ball was like, expecting to convert. Every play felt like a Hail Mary. It's ridiculous. It got to the point where it's like, well, we can't run very well, but we should probably just run forever because I don't know what else to do. Anyways. Well, let's take a break. And we got a bunch of Chris from Alabama at 4:50. We'll be right back.
Going on, Ryan? Chris from Alabama.
What's up?
Halftime of the Vikings-Packers game. And before I say anything, man, that last little play for halftime when them boys missed that field goal, I don't know what the referee talking about. I ain't see no offsides on that play.
There was nothing there.
But it is what it is. They gave him 3 points. But yeah. We gotta get it together. We can put a little drive together, but we not finishing drives. It's not looking terrible, but it's not looking good at the same time. We down by 10. We got a lot of ball game to play. We're gonna have to come out and make major adjustments in the second half. I'm really not upset on what I've seen, and I'm not pleased on what I've seen, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of right there in the middle. Defense did some good things. Offense, they did a couple of good plays, but we got to get it together on offense. We got to put it together. We got to
We gotta finish drives, you know. I'm not mad at the fourth down call. Down deep in the red zone, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at it. We ain't executed, you know. But we gotta have the play, and we should be okay. You're down by 10. It is what it is. You know, there's a lot of ball game left. All we gotta do is make the adjustments that we need to make. Go ahead and tighten them in the areas we need to tighten up in, and go ahead and come out here and play Green Bay Packer football like we've been playing here this last half of the season, man. So go Pack go. I'll talk to y'all after the game, and hopefully there'll be after a victory, man. All we got to do, tighten up, execute what we need to execute, man. We win this ball game, man. Go Pack go, and I'll talk to y'all after the game.
Yeah, and you, along with everybody else, is right. I mean, that's all it would take, but they couldn't do it. Just figure it out. You know, come back at half and play better. Nah, could tell right away. I mean, immediately after halftime, we started seeing, again, bad passes, bad decisions, no ability to catch, can't block, you know, can't protect Jordan, can't do anything. And the defense giving up, you know, stuff immediately. So it's like, well, okay. But again, if at any point you could just wake up. So this is one of those where, you know, if I'm Matt LaFleur, we go back and we talk and it's like, what are we doing? Is this what we are? Is this all we can do? Are we going to do this again? Are we that team again that has all this talent and all this ability? We can do all these magical things, and then when we go up against a tough opponent in a tough environment, we crumble. We cower. Is that what we are? I guess so. Because nobody felt, aside from Edgerrin Cooper, nobody wanted to show up today.
Chris from Alabama, man. One more time.
What's up?
Listen, I know that it probably looked like to the naked eye that the team is better than us, but they really ain't, man. We really not executing on what we need to be executing on.
Well, and that's the other annoying thing. And again, I'm not going to say that we're definitively better than them, because I don't know who wins or whatever, and I certainly wouldn't want to take away from what they did, which is play some incredible football, because they really did play solid football. But it's so freaking annoying that we can't just put up our best and then just see. You know, if we play good football and they come out ahead, just like, and I can demonstrate that I'm being serious because we did it against the Lions. We played good football, they played good football, and they came out ahead. Fine, so be it. But we're on their level. It's one of those things, you know, in 10 games, we probably win 5 of them. You look at that Vikings game and it's like, we win 2 of them. Playing like that, maybe. So, I mean, just that was the one thing. Just don't do that. Don't implode. That's all I really wanted.
We've been executing on what we've been executing on for the past 4 weeks. We can beat this ball team, man. We can beat this ball team. Josh Jacobs got 61 rushing yards right now in the first half. This game is only 10 points, man. There's no need to go away from the run game. I seen that we kind of went away from the run game just a little bit on a couple of drives. Man, lean on Josh Jacobs. Let's play off this run game. Let's get back into this game, and let's win this ball game, man. Go Pack, go. I'll talk to y'all later.
Yeah, that's about it, man. That's about it. You know, and again, I don't know, man. I'm torn because I could very easily just sit here and say what nobody wants to hear, which is this team is good enough to win. And a lot of people want to disagree with me, and whatever, it doesn't matter. But at the same time, it's not a talent issue at this point. It's just not. And some people think we're not talented enough. Fine, that's what you think. I'm telling you that we're not. That's not the issue. The issue is this. This is what scares me. I'm not scared of the fact that if the Packers go out and put up 100%, that it won't be enough. I mean, even if you think that other teams are marginally better than us, so what? If you can put up 100%? Do you know how many Super Bowls that the Chiefs and the Patriots won when they weren't the best team? They were just the most consistent team, and you were going to get 100%? You got the for example, the Chiefs going up against a Bills team that's better than them, but the Chiefs are given 100% and the Bills are given 70%, so the Chiefs win? That's what you need is consistency. We have the talent, we don't have the consistency, and that is my biggest concern at this point. They've been consistent, and then it's like, I don't know. And this is our last opportunity to show that we can rise to the occasion against one of these top teams. Don't crumble. Don't fall apart. Nope, they did. Do I think that if they can play a solid 4 quarters, they can beat the Vikings? Of course they can. Of course. My concern is, will they? That's my biggest concern.
Howdy, this is Jared Schrader, the Uber driver from Texas.
What's up?
Oh my God. I mean, I've been doing a lot of things during this game, just normal dad jobs and whatever. And man, this game is not going the way the Packers want it to. Bull crap offsides penalty on that field goal that missed. Just saying, he should have missed 2 field goals. Not that that matters too much. They're up by 17 right now. I mean, I believe in the Packers. I believe they can come back. They are a second half team typically. So let's see what happens. I don't know. I just don't get it. Maybe that fumble that Josh Jacobs had just took the wind out of it. Even though we stopped them right after. We keep trying to take deep shot after deep shot, and it's not working right now. I don't know. Hopefully the Packers reinvigorate themselves. Hopefully they get something going, get the right, the right juice in the water. I don't know what the hell they need to do, but go Pack, go. And hope you all have a happy new year later on, but go Pack, go.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I didn't really, and I missed the beginning. I was driving home, and the last play before I got home was the fumble. But, granted, we're not talking about a lot of plays, but it sounded like they were moving the ball pretty well. We're in their territory very quickly. And I hope that's not the case because, I guess on one hand it's an excuse. On the other hand, that's the one thing that I said that has been an issue for us that isn't an issue with this Packers team. The Aaron Rodgers team of old, for many years, that would be the team, something bad would happen and everything would go south and you could feel it and it was awful and it was like, oh, here we friggin' go again with this crap. But, this team didn't do that and it kept fighting back. I don't know. I really don't know. It's definitely a good point, though, and it's definitely worth considering. You just hope that didn't completely take the wind out of their sails, but it may have, and it just spirals. You're already in a really hostile environment. You're already kind of on edge. You got to play a basically perfect football game to beat these type of teams, and you have something like that happen, and it just kicks you in the gut. And then I think, didn't they get a stop anyways? Maybe they held them to 3. I don't know, but I think that was the missed field goal after that, so they did stop them. So I just, it's possible, man. I really hope that wasn't all it took to get our guys out of this game because that would be pretty unfortunate.
What's going on? So I'm a modified fighter. I don't really call during the game too much. Oh, look at that. And I call, and then Valentine get an interception and then fumble. But, hey, he got a turnover. So it's funny because I was going to say is one of the things that need to improve is our secondary. And I still stand on that. I feel like we have things that we could make a Super Bowl run, but our secondary is not very good. I know.
Well, I would say this. I think the linebackers and safeties primarily are the problem. Keyshawn did give up quite a bit. Stokes and Valentine haven't given up jack squat in 3-4 weeks. They really haven't. I don't know what the final tally is, but, did you notice Valentine getting picked on? I know he gave up one play to Justin Jefferson in man coverage, and it wasn't even terrible coverage. But aside from that, especially Stokes, did he give up a single? I think when I looked at it about halftime, I think he gave up one pass for 3 yards or something stupid. Stokes hasn't given up jack squat, but what's happening? The linebackers and frickin' Bullard largely are giving up all these yards. It's middle of the field defense again, causing problems. I think the corners are holding up pretty well. Again, not necessarily our slot guy and Keyshawn, but the boundary guys, in my opinion, are surprisingly impressive to me.
when we get Alexander back, we're probably saving him for that. But it's like, I don't see how we could stop teams with like two good receivers. And then our pass rush, again, is not doing a good job.
Apart,
it's like a lot of things that we need. But cornerback is definitely having somebody with.
And again, like the argument against what I'm saying is going to be, well, yeah, that's what happens because you get a better team. And then bullcrap. Sam Darnold has one of the highest pressure rates in the NFL right now. His offense, this is not a better team that blocks better. This guy's under pressure all the time. So the Packers being unable to generate pressure has nothing to do with the talent of the Minnesota Vikings. That's just nonsense.
Guy here and moving Nixon inside would be a great thing. Offensive line as well, we need to improve that. The blocking, I don't feel like Love is not blocking. I don't know if Love is playing worse this year because people got game film on him, but he just was so great at the end of the season last year. He's like, look opposite. I feel like he should be playing like how he playing this year, last year. It should be reversed, but he was so great last year, and we paid him like it. And for how he's been playing, it's just like, but regardless.
Yeah, and even, look, I thought he really stepped it up, the whole freaking Toyota-thon, right? And then what did I say? He got the deal, and I'm like, oh, I hope that didn't jinx it. 2 weeks in a row, he has not played good football. Even for the people that, well, he didn't play bad. Let's change that a little bit. Let's pretend we paid him to be a superstar quarterback. Tell me at any point in this game when he showed up and was that impressive superstar quarterback. Because that happened 0 times in this game. The only thing that happened is in the fourth quarter, he started throwing passes accurately. That's not superstar stuff. That's just, hey, look, there's a simple out route, and he threw the pass. That's it. There was no heroics here. There was no like, oh, man, he's doing something special. There's no breaking the pocket, throwing on the run to a guy that's covered, but it's just a beautiful pass. 0 of those in this game. So let's not dumb down our standards to, well, it could have been worse, and, well, technically the offensive line, and blah, 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 blah. No, that's not the standard for Jordan Love. I'm very sorry. That's just not the standard.
Like, I feel like, hey, if we can improve, get another cornerback, and I know some people fans don't want to hear this, but I'll be trading Dobbs, because we need a receiver that the defense has to pay attention to. We don't have that. We got like a bunch of, I want to say we had a bunch of number 2s, but they ain't really been playing like it all season. But, it's like we don't like, the Vikings got a receiver we have to pay attention to. And I like Dobbs, but hey, it's like, I feel like you can replace him. I feel like our offensive coordinator coach can make a play up where we throw in the spot as the guy catch it. He's not like basically shutting games down. So we need to get one of those. I don't know if we need to draft one, but it's like so many other needs. I don't know how we'll be able to find like a number 1 receiver in the draft. Us needing offensive linemen, cornerbacks, and pass rush. And so I don't know how that's going to happen. I don't know about free agency. I don't know, but I feel like we get some of these things, or at least 2 out of the 3, I feel like we can take it. So we'll see what happens anyway. When Alexander comes back, we can get it better, and if Love can turn around. All right, anyway, go Pack, go.
Well, you'll be pleased to find out Love does turn it around. Just a smidge too late, you could say. By the way, and I addressed this on tomorrow's podcast, but Jordan did end up with a decent grade. But I was tracking it through the game. One person had a grade in the 70s going into the fourth quarter. About 5 of them did by the end of the first quarter because they just decided to pop off in the fourth quarter. So, as I said, look, that's up to you. If you want to take that and say, you know what, good enough, then fine. But I don't know. I'm struggling to give anybody but Rasheed Walker credit on the offense. And on the defense, it's Devontae Wyatt, who, of course, like immediately after I said Devontae Wyatt is one of 2 guys playing well, he ends up going out with an injury. But aside from, let's say, Rasheed Walker and Edgerrin Cooper, I don't know how much credit I want to hand out to anybody. But, yeah, a couple people kind of snuck in at the very end and were suddenly like, oh, they're really good. It's freaking annoying. But, it's up to you. You handle that how you want to handle that. Again, he and Romeo and a bunch of guys, yeah, they were fantastic down the stretch there. Just we lost because they weren't for 3 quarters, but, it's fine.
Ryan, this is Richie, Benny. This is totally pathetic. Totally pathetic, honestly. Come on, man. LaFleur totally not prepared. Halfley not prepared. Just pathetic. We're not ready. We're a first-round exit, man. This is pathetic. Honestly, dude. Come on, man. You can't be serious about this team. They're actually pathetic, dude. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you, man. Love looks terrible. O-line can't block for the run. It's just pathetic, man. I don't understand it.
And again, I'm not going to pretend that this is exactly what the team is every single time. I think too many people put too much stock into this. Like, this will tell us exactly what they are, and then you see a bad game and you say, this is who they are. No, this is who they are today, and today sucked. And it's very easy to prove that, because again, a lot of people aren't going to want to believe that. No. We just didn't see it because it wasn't a good opponent. That has nothing to do with not lining up properly. It has nothing to do with 12 men in the huddle. It has nothing to do with inaccurate passes. It has nothing to do with drops. It has nothing to do with all these a lack of pass rush. All these things happen at the same time that have really nothing to do with the Minnesota Vikings. The things that had to do with the Minnesota Vikings were the really good plays that they made. But all the other crap that was self-inflicted wounds, that's not the Vikings. It's not. It's the Packers being stupid, which they haven't been doing all year. So they're not a first-round exit, assuming that they don't do this in the first round. If they do, they're done. I don't care if they're playing the Falcons or the Rams or whoever. It doesn't really matter. You play like that. You could play the... I don't want to pick too bad of a team. You could play, let's pick the 49ers. They're not a good team this year, but you play that bad against them, team that you already blew out, you would lose to them if you played like this. Just like you would have lost to Miami, just like you would have, I don't know if you'd have lost to the Saints, but it wouldn't have been a super great game. So I'm not going to declare anything into the future because I don't know how they're going to play, but I am discouraged by the fact that this thing has reared its ugly head again. And just as easy as it is to say, well, it happens to everybody, hasn't really happened to the Lions or the Vikings yet this year. It just hasn't. I mean, there's fluctuations in their play, and I think this is one of the better Vikings games, but it hasn't fluctuated so horrifically that they're getting blown out and freaking embarrassed. So, again, I don't want to overreact, but it's not as though there isn't something to be concerned about.
Man, we've had so many opportunities to make it close, and we just can't do it, dude. So LaFleur has given up. And that's just the truth, bro. And whether you want to admit it or not, that's your fault. But LaFleur,
I don't even know what that means.
Doesn't care, dude. He doesn't want to be smart. Like, decided to go for it on 4th down when he could have had points. And I just don't know what to say, man. It's 27-10. This is freaking stupid, man. Just absolutely stupid. I'm really pissed off, man. This is stupid. Anyway, see ya.
Well, a couple things. First of all, it's hard to say he gave up when he's being aggressive on a 4th down that I think a lot of coaches would have gone for in that situation. I wouldn't, but as I've said, I'm a coward and I would never go for it, and the analytics usually says go for it in those situations. But also pretending that had any bearing on this freaking game. You can say, well, we lost by 2 or what. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. It wouldn't have stayed that way. That's not how football works. By the way, they missed 2 field goals. So if it wasn't for that, it wouldn't have been that close. It's just, I don't know. I'm not going to zero in on that, which again comes down to a lack of player execution, which is the problem the entire game. To pretend, again, go to the analytics and find out what they say we should have done in that situation. I don't know. Maybe it was a good call. Maybe it was a bad call. I intend to spend no time on that because there's no reason whatsoever that that should freaking matter. It was 3.5 quarters, 3.2 quarters, whatever it was, of just a completely appalling lack of energy from the team. And if you want to blame that on LaFleur, that's fine. But pretending a freaking field goal, I couldn't care less about that stupid thing. This was just play after play after play after play after play after play after play of just horrific lack of execution. It doesn't, I mean, the only thing that looking back, you would have said, yeah, obviously, just like with, I forget who it was, Snacks or whoever, or maybe it was Chris from Alabama saying, we shouldn't have got away from the run. We should have leaned into it. Well, in hindsight, absolutely. If I'd have known how terrible the passing was going to be all game, then yeah, I would have run probably a lot more. If I'd have known how terrible the offense in general and their complete lack of effort was going to be, yeah, I'd be kicking field goals all day, especially knowing that, again, the kicker did not have a bad day today at all. He's going to have a bad day someday, but it wasn't today. But, even in that situation, what do you do? I mean, as a head coach, do you say, well, my team sucks today, so I'm just going to give up, which is what you were accusing him of, which is why I'm confused, because it's like, well, he didn't give up, and apparently that was his flaw. If anything, it was the fact that he didn't give up on this team. He should have given up on the pass. He should have given up on his offense. He should have just ran the ball all day and kicked field goals, because this team just sucks. But that is, by definition, giving up, which is what he didn't do. So, I don't know. All right, let's take our final break. I don't think we've done that. I don't know. I've had a lot of interruptions. We'll get back. We got some more Jersey Mike.
That ain't a freaking holding. We all know it. Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what play that was, but there was a lot of just what are we talking about? Oh, the you talking about the who was that? Sean Ryan. And I get that they're going to call that, but I don't understand. So just to be clear, because I think we just found a major loophole. If you're about to get pancaked, can you just turn to the side? And then when you get like fallen on, because that was the other issue I had with some of these other plays where like an offensive lineman on a pass play will fall down on a guy and they're like, well, you tackled him. So that's holding. Same thing here where it's like, well, you essentially tackled the guy who was trying to make a tackle and that's holding. It's like, well, then explain what a pancake, I mean, I guess a pancake is on a pass play. You knock him straight back on his back or something, but I guess because if you'd have stayed squared up with him, there would have been no issue. But because he turned, then he kind of, would like tackled a guy who was trying to make a tackle. I understand. I get it. But I also, I don't get it.
Dude, he's bar, baby.
I don't know what happened.
Hey Ryan, it's Jersey Mike. So guys, we got 2 minutes and some odd seconds here, right? So that's 4 timeouts. That's 4 stoppages of the clock. This defense right here, it's time to put up or shut up. Is this the kind of defense that can lead us to a bowl? Is this the kind of defense that can get us a ring? We're about to find out tonight. Go Pack, go, baby.
Depends. Is Bullard responsible for keeping a running back out of the backfield from catching it? Because if that's the case, probably don't have much of a chance there. Again, I'm blaming him. It might not be his fault, but we had 2 guys to that side. One of them went after the quarterback. The other guy just stayed in the middle of the defense rather than noticing the running back and sprinting in that direction. Just in my opinion, he would have been more valuable to where the receiver was as opposed to just standing arbitrarily in the middle of the defense, kind of on the line, just observing life, I guess, as it passes him by. I don't know. It's to each. I mean, it's a Halfley question. Maybe that's his goal. Just, hey, if you could just stand there and kind of observe, have him spy or something. That might be the best thing that we could do here.
Hey, it's Jimmy. I've got some probably not very original thoughts, but I'll share them anyway. First of all, I think we will have a better chance of winning the game if we start playing offense before 6 minutes to go in the game.
Good point.
That would be helpful.
Good point.
But, these Vikings are playing for a lot more than we were playing for. They're playing for home field advantage. Yeah. They're playing at home. They're playing to, earn respect that they deserve and aren't getting from the media. And we were playing.
I hate that we made it so apparent that they're a good football team. If you didn't get it yet, now you get it. But I don't know if we needed to put a freaking megaphone up there and look how great they are because we can't stay on our feet and stuff. They would have looked good no matter what. You could have still played competent football. and they would have looked good and people would have respected them. Probably, maybe, I don't know. I thought they played really good football. I mean, I thought Darnold looked amazing. I thought Jefferson and Addison and Jalen freaking Naylor and I thought they looked great. The pass rush looked great. Everybody looked fine. We didn't need to help them out. Whatever. It's not up to me to come up with the game plan. That's Matt LaFleur's job, and apparently part of the game plan was let's make the Vikings look really good.
Like we're already Super Bowl champions and can just show up and win. So, if anything, my hope is that this was a good reminder, we wanted to tune up for the playoffs, right? Well, this is probably the best kind of tune up we could get, because in the end, we showed a lot of heart. We fought back real hard, and we were reminded what a really good playoff team feels like when we're playing them. And in the end, we hung with them. I mean, we almost came back and won in some miraculous way.
I mean, if anything, that's a real embarrassment for the Vikings. I mean, how do you dominate a team? And you can say garbage time all you want. That's a stupid excuse. That really is stupid. The Saints last week had garbage time for about 3 quarters and didn't get a single field goal. They didn't get into the field goal range once. And the way the NFL, I mean, if you gave up at that point, then that's still on you. But you didn't. We beat you in man coverage, right? We had to block. Romeo had to get open, and Jordan had to throw passes, and that's what he did. So don't even give me that garbage time bull crap. I'm not buying it. I mean, the Packers did come back, and it's crazy that it can happen that fast, but it can. And that's the kind of firepower that we have. But yeah, sure would have been great if we could have just done some simple stuff like that early on. And again, maybe that is a Matt LaFleur thing. I don't know what plays he called. I don't know what was going on out there. Part of the reason I don't like the Matt LaFleur criticisms isn't just because I think he did great. It's because you and I don't know. And I know that you don't know, just like I don't know. So just throwing that blame out there is stupid. But I don't know. Maybe that was a problem. Maybe that should have been fixed. No freaking idea. But boy, they made it look real easy down the stretch, didn't they? Romeo's just running away from people. Jordan just puts it on him. Gee golly whiz. If only, if we'd have thought of that earlier.
So I think if we just come with that fight right away, we'll do better, And maybe this is a reminder we needed. So we got just a little bit more to go, and then it's the real deal. Go Pack, go.
Well, yeah, and that's the point, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe we just needed a reminder, or maybe we needed to feel that resistance. Maybe we needed that wake-up call, and maybe this is the wake-up call. I don't know. I mean, we almost lost to the Bears. That's freaking embarrassing. And then we went on an absolute run. Again, I understand the Lions thing, but I thought the offense did fantastic. I mean, 5 games in a row at 30 points? I mean, that's really, really difficult to do, as evidenced by the fact that the Packers I maybe have done that once before. I don't know. Did a lot of good stuff. And then this game happened. So, I don't know, man. You can look at it any way you want, and you never know what the future holds. Who knows? It's just not a good sign. You know what I mean? It's kind of like how I talk about with Caleb Williams and the Bears. It's yeah, maybe the guy's going to be amazing. I don't know. But I don't have any evidence of that right now. And this is certainly a discouraging series of events if you're hoping that this is going to go well in the future for you. But maybe the Packers will win the Super Bowl. I don't know. But this was not an encouraging performance to get me to the point where I think, it might happen. Granted, I've been thinking we might actually be that team for a long time. Maybe we'll try something different. Maybe we'll go into the playoffs as a team that probably won't do it. Maybe we'll have better odds, because every freaking year we go in and we're the hot team and we're all this stuff, and then we don't do anything. So try something different, I guess. Who knows?
Hey, this is Omar 55 calling back. So I'm gonna be honest, I'm not as pissed off about this game, about losing, only because the Lions and Vikings have to play their starters next week. They got something to play for the number 1 seed. I'm not scared of either one of those teams. We lost to both, but I'm we can beat either one of those two.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not any more scared. It's discouraging to see them play so well. And again, that's the bigger thing here, is the consistency. It's the fact that they showed up and they didn't They didn't take a step back. They didn't make mistakes. They're just like, we're just good at this. Like, you guys don't know how to do this? What is this, like week 90? You guys are making these mistakes? Okay, well, that's you, I guess. That's not us. They showed up and put in a good day's work, and the Packers didn't. But, listen, if you think you can't beat this, we lost by 2, and we played for not even a quarter. So, yeah, I think it's entirely possible that the Packers could beat this team. You give us 2 quarters, probably do win the game.
Not like somebody I'm scared of. So at the end of the day, we get to rest our players. Not a big deal. They got to play hard. Somebody probably going to end up getting hurt, or just in general, just more wear and tear on their team while we get a rest break. And if we got to play either one of them in the playoffs, I'm comfortable and confident, especially with Jair playing and stuff like that. So it's all good. Body call previously said some things that can happen. I know Dobbs had a good game, and I'm like, hey, in the offseason we should trade him. I feel like he's still our highest commodity as far as trade, because if you ask me, if you only keep Dobbs or Christian Watson, I'm keeping Christian Watson because he can do what Dobbs do and more. Dobbs can't do what Christian Watson can do. So, I can, like I said, you see Heath making plays. Like I always joke, and I've said this for years, like Heath plays like his child needs surgery, and the only way this child gets surgery is if he catches the football. Like Heath just be catching the ball. I don't know why. I wish we could transfer Reed skills into Wicks and we'd be all right. But regardless, don't be mad about this, this loss. Like, I love the way we fought back. And again, we can tighten up on some things. Hopefully we didn't play hard to show him everything. So when it's time to play him again, we'll get it. So anyway, fans, don't be mad. It's all good. Go Pack, go. We got this. And I can't wait for the playoffs start. Hopefully, like I said, Jair be playing and we get better pass rush from everybody and the whole line. But I do like the way Love showed play a little bit better. I feel like we play better when we need to come back versus when we got the lead. But it's all good. All right, anyway.
Well, it definitely was a lot more palatable when we came back and only lost by 2. Call it garbage time, call it whatever you want. I don't really give a crap. It was a close game. And if the Vikings didn't want it to be a close game, they wanted to blow out the Packers, I guess that's on you for sucking enough. Like, to suck that bad, to win that decisively for that many minutes, and to almost lose the game. And really, it was a fingertip catch away from being basically a loss. Because, if you had to punt there, all we needed is a field goal to win the game. And again, if Bullard was anywhere near that vicinity, that's an easy breakup. You freaking breathe on the guy, he's going to drop it. Again, apologies to Bullard if it wasn't his fault, but I will continue to blame him because I was not happy with his performance even a little bit. So not only are some things your fault, but everything is going to be your fault. And then as far as the receivers, I'd rather not get rid of Dobbs if we can help it. I don't know if we can help it. I think some of the issues, number one, we probably do get blown out if not for Dobbs in this game, just based on, that's what the comeback was. It was just Dobbs and Jordan tearing it up. Reed was a non-factor. Wicks was pretty much a non-factor, and Watson was out in this game. So, sometimes you need the guys. The other issue is, I think too many people, I'm not saying you, but a lot of people are like, well, let's get rid of Dobbs and then go get a true number one. Like, why do you think we can just go get one? You understand, we're going to get rid of Dobbs, and we are not going to probably, very good chance we are not getting anyone even as good as Dobbs, much less better. And you can force a first-round wide receiver all you want. Most of those guys, especially late first-round receivers, are not Justin Jefferson. I'm very sorry to tell you that. So the idea that we can just go get one somewhere is nonsense. The best you can do is get somebody in free agency and hope that they don't fall off, which happens pretty regularly. Hope that they can just keep being that dude that they've been. I don't know if you're a big T. Higgins believer or what, that he can be a true number one. Fine. I guess we can get rid of Dobbs and go get Higgins, which, again, even that is nonsense, the idea that we can just go get him. Well, the Bengals would have to relinquish him, number one, and then we would have to compete with all the other teams, and there's no guarantees of anything in here. But yeah, there's so much like we should get rid of Dobbs and go get a number one talk, and then we need to go get a corner. Like, why do you think you can just go do that? We're going to get rid of Dobbs and we're going to get rid of Jair, according to a lot of fans, and then we're going to be a lot worse because we don't have Dobbs and Jair. And then we're just going to cross our fingers? You're going to draft somebody, that guy's got a 10% chance of being anywhere near as talented as Jair. And I might be being very generous saying 10%. It might be closer to like 5%, 3%, depending on where this person is drafted. We only get one first-round pick. And to be honest, I don't think we get any first-round picks this year because very good chance that all the first-round picks will be gone by the time the Packers pick in the first round. Because when I say first-round picks, I mean first-round talent, not just happen to be within the top 32 of the draft. Believe it or not, there are not exactly 32 people that are first-round talents every single year. That's just not how that works out. Probably closer to like 15, 20 every year. So best case scenario, we get a relatively early second-round pick at either wide receiver or cornerback. And unless you're getting that Travis Hunter fella, you're not getting both with one pick. So I understand letting go of guys is just part of the process, and the Packers do it, pretty regularly and with pretty decent success. But the only thing that's guaranteed is that we get worse because we don't have them. The thing that is absolutely not guaranteed is finding somebody to replace them. So it's a heck of a trade-off there.
What's going on, Ryan? Chris from Alabama.
What's up?
Another 2-point defeat to the Minnesota Vikings. Another defeat to the second team in the division. When it came down to the wire and it came down to the defense trying to make a stop, man. You know what? If it wasn't for us coming back to make this a game at the end, I would have had a very different phone call. But You know what? Even though we lost and we were down majority of the game, we still fought and battled back. We lost the game. We didn't finish the job like we were supposed to. But we fought. And I feel like my stance don't change. If we see Detroit, Philadelphia, or Minnesota in the playoff when it counts, we can beat them. I'm disappointed that we lost, but I don't feel as bad as I would have felt midway through the third quarter. We fought, we clawed back, we got within the fighter's chance. Defense just couldn't hold up in the end. Could that come and bite us in the backside in the playoffs? Absolutely. But I feel like from teams of past where we used to get down and it was just over, and being that we get down now and we still claw back and fight and still have a chance in the end to win, it makes me feel better. I've been a Packer fan a long time. I've seen a lot of teams, and I've seen some teams when we get down 17 plus points, it's over.
Yep.
The morale is dead. Everything dead on the sideline. Ain't nobody, I don't see that from these guys. We were down, but we kept fighting and clawing and fighting. And we got all the way back in there. We didn't finish the job. And could it be we come to a scenario where we might not finish the job in the playoff? Rightfully so. I say it could be. But I feel like all these heartbreaks now, getting them out the way, come time for the playoffs, from the run that we had last year, we can correct that, man. Tough loss, but I'm not tripping on it because in the playoffs, we see Minnesota, Detroit, Philadelphia, all three of them. We're going to beat them, man. I still believe in the squad. Go, Pack, go. I'll talk to y'all later, man.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, that it is one of the qualities that this team has is just that they just don't notice when things are going poorly. I mean, it kind of didn't feel like it that at first because it just kept happening. But, by the fourth quarter, Jordan and Romeo and like Elton Jenkins and some other guys that really hadn't been playing well all game suddenly were just dominating. And it's like, guys, you know the game's over, right? And just, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. We're going to go win this game. Like, bro, you're not going to win the game. Like, oh, yeah, we got this. It's fine. You've been playing bad all day. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, just unfazed, which is impressive. Now, again, you cannot win forfeiting 3 quarters. You can't do that. But it is a superpower that some of these guys have. And Jordan, for all of his faults and for all of his superpowers, that's one of his best, is that ability to just not even notice that things are bad. Like, the game's out of reach. Like, nah, it's not. Like, I don't know the score. I don't know what happened the last several drives. I don't care. I'm going to go out there and just tear it. And sure enough, he does. Just like, I'm just slinging it around. Like, this is what I do. Like, what do you mean is what you do? You friggin', what? Fine, go win the game. It's fine. It's fine. Go win. And he almost did. I mean, the way that they were playing, if they could have got a stop, I think we win the game, which is crazy. And again, like, we got a real quick pressure on the quarterback, force him into a bad throw, which almost hit the ground. And if it does, I mean, we were literally a fingertip catch away, I believe, from winning that game. That's crazy. And I do think, what we saw in those final, stretches down the field or whatever, I think that was a better representation of what the Packers were. They just didn't wake up. But it also goes to show you how easily this team just cuts through people. Like, we saw 1 quarter of the Packers offense and defense kind of playing like they have all year. The Vikings were easy work. It's lightweight. Ronnie Coleman style. Dude, it's just lightweight. So I'm with you 100%, Chris. And I've said this before, I'm not concerned about the talent. I believe everything I said. The Packers are a better team than the Minnesota Vikings from a talent standpoint. I think if you have both teams playing at 100%, the Packers, I think, cut through the Vikings pretty easily. I really do. How does Sam Darnold play if he's under a lot more pressure, if he's getting sacked a lot more? How does he doesn't play that well, does he? He probably plays pretty well, but not that well. There's more punting, more pass breakups, possibly more interceptions. And if Jordan played like he did in the final quarter for all 4 quarters, we might have hung up 40 on this team. I mean, 30 easily, right? We almost hit 30 as it is. And that's not to say anything disparaging about the Vikings. I think they're a good football team. I think it just goes to show, I really genuinely believe this team has a really high level of, and nobody wants to hear that right now because, oh, you're stupid thing to say after that performance. And that's true. They don't deserve this level of praise. But again, the issue is not the talent. The issue is that they didn't show up. And that's the concern. I think from a talent standpoint, they can beat absolutely any team. The Lions are very tough. The Vikings are very tough. I think the Eagles are going to be very tough. I think there's a lot of AFC teams that are going to be very tough. Even, you catch the Rams on a bad day, it could be real tough. But I've watched this team cut through people like they don't exist. And we watched it in the 4th quarter of this game. It was not hard to move against the Vikings defense. It really wasn't that hard to get stops against them either. It wasn't that hard to get pressure. It wasn't that hard to cause disruption, to absolutely obliterate their run game. None of that was difficult. So, but it is what it is, man. You lost the game. Certainly got humbled a little bit there, but we're going to need that superpower to appear. There needs to be some kind of a self-reflection. Matt LaFleur's got to do something different. We've been doing the same damn thing. I don't know what it is for years. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not a coach. I'm not a motivator. I'm not a self-help speaker. I don't know what the message is. I don't know what you tell guys in this situation to try to make sure that they don't keep making these freaking mistakes. I have no idea what you do. But you got to come up with a message, and it's got to be different than whatever message you've been telling them all these years, because we got to do something different. Because if this team does the same thing again, where it's like, oh, they're super talented and they coulda, woulda, shoulda won a Super Bowl, but they look really good, and then they faced a team and they just fell apart and lost. We can't keep doing that, because I'm so sick of having talented teams and it just doesn't matter, because it's never ever about talent. Maybe in like 2019, right? It was a good team, not as good as the 49ers, though. They just weren't, and they lost, although they absolutely imploded in that game as well. But either way, they probably lose that game. I'm just so sick of watching the implosions like this past game where, again, some people just think, well, they're a bad team. Well, whatever. You think whatever you want. They're not. They're not a bad team. But this is a freaking cancer. And this crap has got to stop. Because this is the reason, if we don't win, it's very likely this is going to be the reason why. We're gonna see them play, maybe it's a first round exit, but more than likely, we're gonna see them play the first game. They're gonna be really impressive, and we're all gonna be really excited. And then we're gonna see a game like this, and that's how it ends. And we're just sitting here going, what even happened there? If you're gonna lose, at least give me all your effort. I shouldn't have to beg you. You know what I mean? I shouldn't have to beg you to do basic stuff to just not have the worst day of your life when it matters the most. And I'm not talking about this game. This game doesn't matter the most, but you know what I'm talking about. When you get to the playoffs, those games matter. Like, a lot. And I shouldn't have to beg you to do basic stuff like, hey, can you try to line up correctly today? Can you make sure you only have 11 guys in the huddle today? Can we not have major drop issues today? Can we not, like, dirt balls that are 5 feet away from a guy? You're throwing a screen pass that hits him in the frickin' ankles. Can we not do that? Can we not just blow coverages all over the place and miss tackles? Can we not do that today? If you're going to lose, at least just lose because you're worse. I'm not going to say it's going to feel good to be like, well, dang, I guess they're just better than us. That sucks. But it's going to feel, I promise you, it's going to feel so much better to know that they fought and gave everything that they had, rather than just saying, nah, didn't feel like it. You know how much that sucks to be a fan of a team and to frickin' go through an entire season and to genuinely believe and to watch and to see how good they can be and to believe that they're going to do that, and then they just don't feel like showing up? And here we are again. We're right there, and we're getting into playoff time, and it's like, guys, can this be the year? And they're like, what? I don't know. Sorry, I was sleeping. Damn it, man. Damn your eyes. I just can't deal with your bull crap. But we'll see. Maybe that won't happen. There's no guarantees. Maybe they got it out of their system. Maybe that'll never happen again. Maybe we're going to win a Super Bowl. I don't know. It's going to happen. Just doesn't make you feel good. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, I'm out of here. Appreciate you guys. I will talk to you more tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.